After 14 years in the culture, earning a diamond and holding it in the 1% Outlaw Motorcycle Club, to then leaving, traveling coast, sitting down with OGs, my big brother becoming a pagan, OG Mongols, Vagos, Thunderguards, the list goes on and on, to the web sit-downs with legends like Scott Jr. Erickson and George Christie. Today, I'm going to talk about the things I wish I knew before joining a 1% Outlaw Motorcycle Club. Let's get into it.
We run the night, we run the night, run.
Big shout to the Ghosts and the Ghostettes. Welcome to Demons Row TV, the holy grail of MC culture, where we cover everything motorcycle and motorcycle club involved. I'm Sos the Ghost. I'm your host for the evening. Let's talk about the life of a 1% of my experience, just my experience, not everything you heard of before dealing with other clubs, just the situations that I've seen and circumstances. And I'm going to answer some broader questions from the Patreon, but first I'm going to preface it, why I don't constantly post old pictures with my diamond like you see a lot of people do, or show pictures of me in the past with other diamonds on club time with club colors on. And it's because of one conversation I had. I remember I was at an annual event and I was told by a brother that a so-called brother said I was using the club to get ahead. Now me, I came from gangbanging. We rep our shit. So if I'm online and I'm showing who I am, it's because I love the club. That's what it was always about to me. I have videos of events, brothers fighting over axe handles to get fully patched, which the pagans started the axe handle shit, to be clear. But I was just showing things we did, and it was all over the web, and stuff started to go viral. And if you've been down with me since the beginning, you've seen the videos, you know what I'm talking about. But the channel has grown so much since then, I decided to take it all down. I wanted to establish my own brand and nobody to ever tell me that I use them to get to the top. I don't need anybody to make my mark in this world. So let's talk about the things I wish I knew before I joined an Outlaw Motorcycle Club. Let's start with whoever vouches you to get in a club. Make sure he isn't low-key your biggest enemy. I'm telling you, if you've ever been in a situation with people that don't like you, you never did nothing wrong to them, but for some reason, they can't stand you, it's not for no reason. It's because someone that you trust is talking shit behind your back. They are painting a narrative to that person about you, and you want to talk about keeping it real? The so-called brother, real brother, won't even come to you and say, look, this is what was told to me. Is that really how you feel? They're so fake, they just hate on you and believe a fraud and a liar. I had such a person like that. I had no clue was my biggest enemy. And let me tell you, some of you think you don't go through the same shit, you just haven't realized it yet. You know how many dudes is walking around with a so-called homeboy, a so-called brother that hates his guts? I argue more friends have secret hate for you than love. And here's how you could spot it. You have a homeboy. He's always throwing shots at you, but it's in a joke around way. He's always joking around, but it happens to be around other people, and it's always you, the butt of the joke. Yeah, him, he don't with you. No matter how much he tells you he loves you, he don't with you because he would be bigging you up. Now, I'm not saying that you can't clown on your brothers in a good, clean way. I'm talking about being the butt of the joke when other people are around. That's one shit I don't play with. I'm cool. You could joke around, but if you joke around in a certain way and I don't like it, I'm going to check you the first time. I will tell you, listen, everybody don't play like that. I'm not the one. Understand that. I'm never the butt of the joke. And people say, oh man, you can't take a joke. No, not that way. Check people the first time they come out your face, and I'm telling you, you will live a life that you will enjoy. Because if you don't, believe me, everybody will take jokes to the next level, and it turns into a point where you lose all respect. You start losing respect for yourself, and then you have to check them on a way higher level where it becomes a huge thing. And it's not necessary if you tell them from the door, look, this is how I play. I don't play this way. And this isn't about being a gangster. This is just being a man. But that's the thing that I wish I knew coming in. Make sure whoever vouched for you has genuine love for you. Another thing I wish I knew about joining a 1% club, and I'm speaking from my perspective, is that like if Daytona Bike Week is going on and you're a biker, you want to go and do what bikers shit. You want to do what bikers do. No, they're going to throw an annual the same weekend as Sturgis, Daytona, Myrtle. They're not going to go to certain rallies because certain clubs kind of own these rallies. That's for the people that don't know. And I wasn't thinking, yo, let's go there and start trouble. I'm like, let's go and make our impression felt. We don't got to start no trouble. We just chill. I think I was right, but the world will never know. Another thing is, if you have intentions of joining an outlaw club or a traditional club, make sure you have an American-made bike, because it's going to be a lot of issues trading your bike in, or I don't know what people's financial situations are, but it's a lot easier if you have any intentions of ever joining a club. Just get that Harley, or at least get a Victory, something cheaper in price, because I know everybody doesn't got Harley money. Some 1% clubs will let you have a cruiser that's not a Harley, but you can't get fully patched until you have an American-made bike. Some are not playing. I had a Star Striker. It was a really good bike that I actually lit on fire because I had a hoodie tied to the back and it unraveled and got caught in the back tire. And I tell you, I looked like the Ghost Rider in real life. I was ghosting for real, but I had to get another bike, a Victory Vegas, and then I was able to get fully patched. That bike was cool, but my Softail, next level. But yeah, make sure your bike is American made if you're gonna join an outlaw motorcycle club or a traditional MC. You know, some take crotch rockets, but many don't. It depends what your style is, you know? Go with that. Real quick, if you enjoy MC culture content, smash the like and the subscribe button. Give me a pound wherever you're from. Get your Ghostavelli mask, shades, Demons Row snapbacks in all colors, tank tops, crew necks, track races. We got it all, and you can get it on www.demonsrow.com. Let's get back into it. Another thing I wish I knew before joining a 1% outlaw motorcycle club is that when higher ups change position, when someone gets voted out, the whole club can change. I've had presidents that would come in and it was all about expansion, and we were growing, sometimes too fast. And then that's where you get the bad apples and the Judases. I've had presidents that once they came in, we're beefing with this diamond club because they have a way more militant approach to any situation that will go down. And I've changed a lot. I wasn't always how I am now. Sometimes I would sit at the table and say, why don't we just wash these dudes up? There's only this amount of them. They made a move in another state. Let's get them out of here. But it was always them making a move first. I've never been the type to try to say, let's target this random club because I didn't like something about them. That was never my style. I just don't do that. But if your chapter in Chicago did my brothers dirty out there because they're outnumbered, but you're here in New York and we highly outnumber you, I'm at the table like, we need to get them out of here. And that was another thing I didn't know coming in. If we're good here with a club and something happens on the other side of the US with that same club, we're still cool here. I never understood that. Like, if we're cool, tell your boys over there that those people are good. And if you can't say that, they don't respect you. And I still believe that to this day. If you really got that respect, you could be like, yo, that's my bro. I have some questions from Patreon that I'm going to answer too. The link is in the description if you want to support the roll. Make sure you smash that like and that subscribe button. But one was, what does it really mean to be a 1%er? To me, earning a 1% diamond patch, and 2, learning from the OGs. To me, if you really haven't had the OGs talk to you, you're really not a 1%er. I noticed for maybe like 3 years that I had a diamond, I wasn't really a 1%er those prior years because I didn't have the conversations with the right OGs to teach me what this shit was all about. The next one says, what is a lifestyle like day to day? So there's phases to this. When you're in the prospect phase, you're on call and you're way more active. They always got some shit for you to do. But when you get fully patched, it gets more laid back. If you take a position, then it speeds up again. They need you way more again. But day to day, you ride, go to the clubhouse, meet up with bros, eat, drink, argue about whatever the next BS is. And believe me, they master the art of continuing to have a new drama for you. So the arguing doesn't stop. Too much testosterone. I would say it's like dating a chick, and in the beginning it's awesome, but then the same things they did, months in or a year in, gets on your nerves. The best part about day-to-day stuff when you're in a national club is you go to so many different states you've never been to, and you actually have brothers out there, and that's a good feeling. I think that's the best thing about being in a national club. Just the mandatory stuff sometimes is annoying. I'm not gonna lie, especially when you're running a business. Sometimes you don't want to hear that shit. As a man, you have certain obligations that you have to do. Here's a really good question right here. Was it worth it? I honestly have to say yes. It led me to my purpose. I'm a big proponent of God putting you in positions for your purpose. I argue that a lot of the things that we think are bad really are just a shift because we're off our purpose. I would not leave the gang world. I literally had to have a gun in my face and be backstabbed by those that were so-called close to me to leave that life. I thought that was the worst thing that ever happened to me, but it actually was the best thing that ever happened to me. I remember a time where someone I considered a friend sat there and watched YouTubers who never met me, knew nothing about me, say all these things that they heard about me that were completely fabricated. And it really bothered me because I tuned out the noise. He had it on like it was fucking entertainment, and we were never the same after that. But you know who also saw that and didn't like it and was a big fan of Demon's Row, and he didn't like the fact that they were talking so bad about me? Believe it or not, Jason Momoa. Jason don't do interviews with nobody. If it's not contractually because he has movie obligations, he doesn't do interviews. He jumped on Demon's Row and showed that kind of love, and shout to him and shout to my great brother Cliff, Red Rum MC National President, for making that happen. After that interview, my channel started to take off even more, and it was negativity that made that happen. So when you go through a shitty situation in your life, it might not be so shitty. It might be exactly what you need. So the next time you get hit with an obstacle, take a deep breath and think to yourself, why did this happen? If you could do that, you could turn into a master problem solver. And that's what success is: solving problems, not letting them solve you. Elon Musk has failures that led him to being the richest man in the world. So was it worth it? I wouldn't change anything because it made me who I am. Let me know your experience, what it's been like to be in this MC culture thing of ours, whether you were an outlaw or a club member or just someone who loves to ride. And share this with someone who's thinking about joining, because I'm letting you know the real, not the fake stuff that they put out there. A person that actually lived it, actually went through it, and what it's like. And thank you for tuning in to Demons Row TV, the holy grail of MC culture. Like, subscribe, and comment. And oh yeah, we ghosting, baby.